Hello everybody, this is Fabi from The Next Big Rush, and today I want to talk about the 4 types of resource investors. And really, they're really like castes, like the racial system in India and some other places, where you want to be at the very top in order to make more money from resource investing in general. So what does that mean? Oil stocks, gold stocks, silver, zinc, copper, etc., etc. There are different investors, and I'm just going to use the word investors for investing and speculating, just because at the very center, the people who are really running the show are actual investors and not just speculators. So I'm going to try to draw, and I apologize in advance because I couldn't draw to save my life, but I think if I illustrate this, it will make a bit more sense. So really, what you have is concentric circles. Circles that get bigger, meaning, yes, there are more people, the farther you get away from the center. And the center is really the people who make the most money out of this sector. So let's begin with, oh my gosh, here we go, with a little concentric circle here. And you have here what I call the insiders, okay? The insiders are the people who get into private placements. They get stock purchases outside of the open market as well as the open market as well. But they're the people that CEOs call up in 2014 to 2016 saying, hey, we have this project. Are you in or are you out? Can you put in 6 figures minimum? Stuff like that. So these are the insiders, and they make the most amount of money. First of all, they are actual investors as well, because the money that they put into these companies is the money that allows the company to grow in value. So in a sense, that's actually investing and not speculating, right? Because let's say that, company ABC needs $1 million to do some exploring in the Congo, I don't know. And you have the $1 million, you want to back them up. They create the shares, you buy the shares, and there's an exchange, and because of that money they go out and explore. So you're investing, you're making that company or that next stage possible for them, right? So they're the people who make the most money because they are backing up companies with so much money that they also get not just a better price in their share, they get in early enough in the game when the story hasn't become too popular, but they also get warrants. And warrants are a sort of a type of an option on a stock, okay? And sometimes they get either half warrants or they get full warrants, which means for every share that you buy, you get an extra free share. Okay, so these are the people who are killing it. And in order to be an investor in this class, you have to be a qualified investor, which in most countries in the world, this will vary a little bit, okay? But it will be either somebody who makes 200 grand a year consistently, or somebody who has a net worth of $1 million and more. So in order to get to this, yes, you do need to have the money before you can actually invest it. Yeah, the rich get richer. That's just the way it is. So that is where we want to get to. Now, let's take a look at the next concentric circle. Okay, so the next caste or class is really the resource speculator, okay? So let's call them S for speculator. This is not going to fit when all is said and done. You have the big boys club in here, and then I would consider myself out here in the speculator category. And these people, they are interested in the resource sector in general because they know that 100% return on a stock is really just scratching the surface. There's a lot of money to be made, a lot of money to be lost as well. But these are the people who are sort of eyeing the resource sector as a whole. And every now and again, it's almost like they're hunting. They see something move in a bush. They see that gold is starting to move or that it's going down in value too much. And then they go after that thing. They go after gold. Maybe they go after cobalt, or they go after silver and copper, etc. So they move around in different commodities according to, you know, what is going on, to what sort of news that they're getting. But they're really the second type of people to hear about the news, because the first guys are the ones who are backing up the projects financially to begin with. So there's a lot of money to be made in this area, and we can get into more of that later on. But really, you are hoping that the news about that the particular stock, or that particular commodity doesn't just stay within your ring of influence. Because really, if a stock is doing really well, and say Nick the Mining Book guy knows about it, it won't be long until I know about it too, because we frequent the same places. We drink from the same fountain, so to speak. So really, he can't be much faster than I am, and I can't be much faster than he is, because we're both interested in the same topics and we follow the same people. Now, the interesting thing is when you get a third type of investor, which is the generalists. I'll put a G here. Dang, this is getting so ugly. So you have the big boys club, speculators, and then G for general investors. These people are people who have been investing in the stock market for a few years already, and they're just investing in Apple, in the Dow, ExxonMobil, whatever. They're just stock investors. Then when it's finally on Bloomberg and they hear about this, you know, great mining stock that's ripping and roaring, then they start putting their money into that. So they're not interested in resource investing in general, but once it's loud enough, once we've become popular enough for them to hear about it, then they put in their money. And obviously they have missed an opportunity, because speculators get in on it first. And then the investors, the initial investors, have made so much money by the time the generalists come in that it's not even funny. But the really big bucks happen when the fourth type of investors come in, which are six-pack Joe. So out here, when six-pack Joe, or Joe Six-Pack, comes in, that's when you have the top of the market, because investors have already backed up the projects. You have speculators like you and me who have already identified which companies are interesting and placed their bets. Then you have the generalist people who know the stock market more or less. Then you have people who are completely oblivious to how to make money in stocks in general, and then they start asking you, hey, how do I get in on that mining stock? People who have no idea how to invest, they start to get interested, and that's when you have a blow off top, and usually that's the end of a cycle of any commodity, because there is no bigger fool to sell to. Pretty much, that's it. So these are the four types of investors. Which one are you, and what steps are you taking to move closer to the I? That is where you want to get to. That is where I'm working towards. So if you like this video, hit like and subscribe, and keep listening, because I'll come back with more videos about this and how you can always move towards the circle and make a lot more money. Make a lot more money than you have been with mining stock.